stream. Okay, throw away your gummy bear wrappers. The stream has started. We're recording. We are live.
Game director of the year. I love Mo.
Yeah? You
Yeah.
love Mo?
Hmm?
Yeah, you
I haven't met him. He seems like a nice guy.
So you wanna walk us through that forum post then? Inks, you like that?
You want to link it to me?
You got really triggered by that.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw MMO Inks getting a little bit triggered actually.
Yeah, so that's definitely my knee-jerk reaction without sitting down and thinking through the post, because part of that is my own fault for, I've been hearing about these supposed balance changes for some time now. And I kept expecting it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. World vs. World got a tiny, itty-bitty little separation balance update, and PvP gets a balance update every time a new season's getting ready to start. And I really
got to say, it's obvious we just can't trust Nike anymore.
No, it's not. It's not Nike's fault, because I just expected it was coming sooner rather than later. And it leads me to believe that the raid is not coming as soon as I had thought it was going to come, for a couple of reasons. I just hope that when we get a balance patch that is off-season, an off-living world patch, that it does have some significant changes or some changes on a PvE focus, because that's not generally the case.
So he said it's not coming.
What did I miss?
Just Inks talking about there not being a balance patch with the next Living World.
Oh yeah, that's a mistake.
Yeah, so I read it. It said no balance patch release with the next Living World release. It's going to be done off of the Living World schedule, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be. Well, I hoped it was going to be before the next Living World release, but that's very unlikely.
Right, not going to happen.
No, so I guess come somewhere between episode 4 and episode 5.
Right, exactly what I'm thinking now. When I first read it, though, I was just like, I want a balance patch so effing bad that I was just.
Me too.
I was full of rage. I
spent like
full of rage.
I spent like 100 gold making my Ascended Armor into Condi Guardian gear.
But I mean, if there's not going to be a raid, if there's not going to be a new raid wing with this patch, and I don't think there will be, obviously, we would have heard something by now, then balance doesn't really matter, because living story, it doesn't matter what the hell you're running or what you're wearing, or, it's story, right? It doesn't, your build doesn't really matter. And so I understand, from a developer's perspective, I understand why a balance patch isn't really important from like the story perspective, and even on some extent fractals, because they don't, fractals are fractals, and they're getting better, but they're still not like, I don't know, a main focus for meaningful balance changes, where raids really sort of the raid scene, the meta that pugs follow religiously really depends on what happens with balance. My fear, and when I read this post, the first thing that pops into my brain, because of the history we've had with ArenaNet in the past, is that we're not getting a balance patch to season 6, and I'm just like, son of a bitch.
that's the thing there, right? I mean, it can't really come through mid-season, because that will make it kind of weird. No, it has to be at a period where there isn't ranked, right? That's when they're going to put a balance patch in the game.
Well, unless it's a PvE balance patch, not a PvP balance patch.
Yeah. That's actually a good possibility. They can basically put as long as they don't put the PvE balance patch right before the raid, they can basically put it whenever they want.
They'll put it right before the raid.
They can put it right before the raid. They can put it right on the same day as the raid, I think.
No.
That's a mistake.
No. You don't understand. You don't understand.
They could do that, but that's a mistake.
You don't understand. I'm sorry, you guys haven't quite gotten to the level of nihilism that I have, having played and observed Guild Wars 2 for 4 years, and it's actual reality. But they will put the balance patch like the week before, maybe 2 weeks before the raid, because they don't want people to go in and beat it within 3 hours.
I mean, that's very possible.
So they're gonna fuck with people on purpose.
Yes,
Unless they buff everybody. And then who knows?
They won't buff. They're just gonna keep nerfing until
They're gonna
keep nerfing until you can't do no up draft course
see
anymore.
Boots. You're Canadian, right? You've heard of this band called Rush, yeah? Haven't you? And you know they had a song called "The Trees." It's pretty good, right? You know that song?
No, I don't.
So there are oak trees and there are maple trees, and the oak trees are really, really tall. The maples aren't so big, and the oak trees give the maples shade, and they say, "We give you shade, you should be happy." And the maples want to be tall, and they want to have the sunlight, and they don't appreciate the shade.
Yeah,
and they're angry.
Trees don't care about shade.
Correct. And the oak trees, you know, they get all elitist about, well, we're just the biggest and the best. So they're all equalized. People come in with hatchets, axes, and swords and cut them all to size.
Okay.
And that is what ArenaNet has done, because we have elitists and we have casuals, and now they will all be the same.
All right. Sounds good.
There will be no more skill. It will be Chronomancer just pressing buttons as it wishes. There will be no more mechanic to heal up necro minions for more bleed stacks. It will all be equalized.
Okay. It sounds like a beautiful world you're describing, Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't know
Does
about
it,
that,
though?
but
Does it though?
I don't know. I just feel like we go long periods of time without balance, and this is not just on the PvE side of things. Obviously, in PvP, they're not going to change the balance when a season is active. I understand and I support that. I think that's the right decision. But World vs. World sees very little. I mean, they see very little of anything, generally speaking. But I just feel like balance needs to happen a little more often than it does. And when I hear that there's not going to be a balance patch, it kind of sends me into a little fit of baby rage. I just cry a little bit and smash keys on my keyboard and tweet shit out.
No.
I mean, I love balance patches because it's like my bread and butter, basically. So yeah, I would also like to have balance patches more often.
I mean, it would make sense to me that they would do a balance patch, or at least a few little tweaks at the end of every season, right? At least at the end of every season.
Yeah.
But wait, as you know, the seasons aren't that long, so every season will be fine, right?
Yeah, unless the balance is perfect in the season and there's no reason to make a balance patch.
I don't think they're gonna get to perfect balance. I think that might be a little bit of ambitious.
Sure.
Maybe just a bit.
But I just feel like from a PvE rating perspective, you know, you should balance before a raid comes out, and then you should balance somewhere in between, especially since we've been waiting since June, since Wing 3. I feel like there maybe should have been some sort of balance changes or updates since June. I don't know.
Yeah. So probably what's happening now. Do you? Because they had a PvP balance patch right before the season, right?
For our PvP, yeah.
For PvP. So I think it was probably the PvP team who worked on that balance patch, right?
They do. So the PvP team now talks with the balancers, which is not something that always happened in the past. So that's something.
Oh, so there's a balance team that works with the individual PvE, PvP, World vs. World.
No, the balance team, from what I understand, used to be its own entity.
Okay.
But now, and I don't know when this exactly started because I don't have dates in front of me, the balance team works with the other game types. So for a PvP season, Game Balance now gets together with PvP people to figure out a better balance for that game mode. So when raids come out, my hope is that the raiding team gets together with the balance team and figures out some sort of balance. Mm-hmm. We don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I hope happens.
Do you think that should happen before or after the raid comes out?
Before.
Okay. And you're saying 2 weeks before would be best?
A week before, whatever, just before.
Okay.
I don't know.
You want to release the day of?
No, probably.
He doesn't want to release
probably after. Probably after. Because you can't. I mean, 2 weeks I think is fine, but 1 week you have to figure out what's optimal in a week. I mean, I don't know. maybe there are some extreme tryhards that are going to do that, but I think it's kind of that's
it's
what they will be
since
doing.
the beginning of time.
They'll just be artificially making the next wing harder, though, because people won't know what's best going into it.
Yes,
I don't
that's
think
the
that's-
idea.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Why? That it's annoying that people actually just want to get the job done and easy the raid.
But don't you
that-
want perfect balance for PvE before you have to go do something new?
Oh yeah, as long as you have time to prepare. But if
There's a
you-
difference when perfect balance is something that requires little skill, less skill than before, when it's forced just to make the game arbitrarily more easy for the sake of, I don't know, making the good players quit or feel less interested.
I think you're specifically talking about Grace of the Land, right? Is that
and
what?
No.
and Chrono and Mesmer.
And Chronomancer and Necromancer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all of the fun that's to come, too.
Hmm.
So do you think that what do you think they're going to do then, Brazil? What class are they going to butcher the skill level of?
Well, Druid.
Yeah, Druid. They're going to
Yeah,
reduce
they're
the
gonna
skill
nerf
cap
Druid.
with the Grace of the Land. And then
Yeah,
what? And
they
then what?
will.
And
They're
then
gonna
what?
make Grace of the Land easier to apply the same amount, like we talked about last week.
Hopefully, it's not the same
They
amount.
might-
Hopefully, it's a nerf.
They might do something to Tempest, but I would imagine if they do, they're gonna actually make it better. Which would
Really?
They're
like,
going to buff it.
yeah, I think they actually will. I don't think they're gonna ever do anything to Power Reaper. If they actually like buffed Power Reaper, I would be surprised. And like I conceivably can't ever imagine that happening. Like even with the next specialization in the next expansion, what are the classes? Guardian. I don't know. I don't know if they'll do anything to Guardian. I don't know that they can really make Thief any easier to play. I
Yeah,
don't,
it's
Revenant.
it's easy
I don't.
game.
They've already buffed Revenant. They buffed it right out of the meta.
Yeah.
What other classes are there?
What's funny is I've seen this a
Interesting.
couple of times
Warrior?
from people saying that Revenant Hammer is going to get nerfed next.
Because of World
Whatever.
versus World, right? Because it's
Because
really
of World
gonna-
versus World.
'cause they
yeah.
got to balance the entire game around World versus World.
I mean, the good news is that they've started to split skills, so maybe they'll split that nerf just for World versus World. It's not even really used in. It's not really used in PvE that often.
They still have to fix. They have to fix Necro Epidemic still, aka just nerf Condi Necro even harder, which they'll do
But why
don't
nerf
know when
Condi
it'll
Necro
happen.
if it's already not that great?
because it needs to be as bad as Power Necro so it can be balanced.
I think Power Necro is better than Condi Necro, though.
No, because with a regular gear setup, not ultimate min-max tryhard like I play, it's about the same damage. And it has Power Necro has absolutely zero utility.
I like how Condi Guardian does the same damage as Power Necro.
Yeah.
And it still has that upside. Although it does die a lot easier. Like a lot easier.
It does, but it's got some... Wait. It's got some other things to it, because it can block as well. You can
Yeah, it
put
could
age
reflect
of some people.
projectiles.
Yeah, so it has some extra utility to it. Like, whereas the Necro is just very good at not being dead. I mean...
No, that's not true.
It is. It really is, though. I mean, like, it's not... It's very difficult. Like, Necro is really good to just survive. You have Shroud, you have Lifesteal. Obviously, it's nothing on what old Condi Reaper was, when you just had 20 minions all stealing life constantly. Then yeah, that was actually broken in terms of survivability, but it's still very survivable. Like, you have a very large health pool and Shroud if you need it.
Wrong. The difference between Necromancer surviving is you just put on Vitality gear, and it's just all completely passive. Even like with Condi Necro, it's just you're just ranged, and you have minions that take aggro and hit things. You don't have to do anything. Like Power Necro and Condi Necro, it's all of the survivability is passive. And with other classes who survive just as well or better, you actually have to press a couple of buttons. Like Guardian, maybe you press your Shield of Courage or Retreat to take a hit, or Shelter. Or on a thief, maybe you trade invigorating precision, or you just use one of your 12 dodge rolls. So like everything survives probably about the same. Like Tempest is probably the extreme because you have to actually like do stuff to survive. Like I don't know, maybe stand at range or press obsidian flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, Necro definitely needs something in PvE. Okay, so let's stop being pessimistic for a second. And Brazil, you are, besides Nemesis, of course, you are the primo Necromancer aficionado here.
Yes.
What could they do to both Power Necro and Condi Necro individually, obviously, to make them a lot more a lot better for the current PvE meta?
So let me actually log my Power Reaper because I've been thinking about this and I just want to look at traits to make sure I'm getting everything right. And like a big problem is that Decimate Defenses is just in the wrong place. Like it should not be in the middle tier, it needs to be in the last tier. That's a very big problem because that prevents you from doing anything useful with Greatsword. Like Blighter's Boon. Blighter's Boon, like I don't think people it's not good. I don't think anyone even
not for PvE, not for raiding, but I like it.
It's like who uses that trait? Like
You're talking about Blader's Boon? In the Grandmaster. Yeah, it's for tank builds.
Yeah.
Okay, so why would it be just like somewhere? I don't understand why it's in the last tier and why Decimate Defenses is in the middle. Because
I think it's because they wanted to separate Blader's Boon and the one that gives might every second when you're attacking a chilled foe.
You should be able to like choose between those, I think. Like you would have to pick one or the other. Like I understand the synergy there, but I don't think you should be able to have both of those. I think like I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's relevant. I don't think either of them really do anything at all. But like Soul
Eater, you're right.
Eater,
Decimate Defenses is a crazy powerful
because
trait.
It is, and it renders Soul Eater completely useless. So there is basically no reason to. I mean, there's no reason to ever take Soul Eater at all, even though it buffs Greatsword, like it reduces the cooldowns on it. Yeah, I know. And so they make that better somehow. They just make it like a buff to Greatsword. Why can't we have, hear me out here. I know this might be crazy. I know that this might actually be insane. But there's this trait on Warrior called Forceful Greatsword that is probably the best trait in the entire game out of everything.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Because it's a damage increase and it just stacks might.
It's also broken in that it's just not greatsword hits, it's while wielding a greatsword. Yes. So like any hit you do while wielding a greatsword gives might.
Like I don't understand why Forceful Greatsword is just unmatched in terms of just traits I really can't think of anything that's actually a better trait on anything than Forceful Greatsword. So I don't why can't you just make. And the thing about like Greatsword cooldowns, like, yeah, the way that it's worked now, like the way that Soul Eater works now, like you recharge
Grace of the Land.
Yeah, Grace of the Land is a better trait. Actually. It is actually
Grace of the Land is better.
It is.
But like, Soul Eater is just useless. Like it gives you more Nightfalls and like it above 50% health. I guess maybe you get more Grave Diggers, but like. It's just a bad trait. It's just a horrible trait.
What if they made it so every greatsword attack? This is a thing that I would think. What if they just because it steals life on Gravedigger, right? What if they put it on every greatsword attack? So auto attacks and Gravedigger and Nightfall and even the spin. What's it called? The 3.
Yeah,
because how many times? That would be really broken, right? Because wouldn't that steal life like 8 times or something?
I don't know why they don't actually make lifesteal into a real mechanic, where instead of just basically putting numbers on the screen, which is all it does now, that's really all it does. It just puts numbers on the screen so you can look at numbers. That's realistically all it does. I don't know
Guys,
why they don't.
obviously, lifesteal just has to be, instead of stealing a certain amount of life, it just steals a certain amount of percentage of the enemy's health, guys. That's
doesn't even-
There we go.
It could do something funny like that, but like I don't understand why it can't have like real application, because vampiric presence is just it's a green square that goes above your utility skills.
Yeah,
it's basically what it is.
The thing is, though, it's also a very good green square that goes above your utilities.
I'm with Hamato. I want to see a buff to the damage of
On the
Life
life
Siphon.
siphon.
Yeah, I would love
Buff
to
it.
see.
Buff it!
You have
I'd love
to be
see like
so
lifesteal
careful there.
damage actually.
No, fuck it. Don't be careful, ArenaNet. Just
I
dial
think
it to 55.
I think the damage needs to be able to be increased, but the healing probably should not be increased, because if you as soon as you buff that healing by a little bit, everybody's gonna be playing it. It's being possible to kill any necros.
Make it scale with healing power. Just make it fucking broken.
If you double the lifesteal effect, then suddenly like your entire raid group is just totally immortal, right?
I think the correct thing to actually do all of this, and I've like mentioned it before, like the best thing is make Soul Eater like actually like function in accordance with its name. Make greatsword attacks cost health, as well as have a cooldown, but like just like quadruple the damage on them, because even still, like it's only going to be like 29k DPS if like Gravedigger hits for 12,000 on the tooltip.
Look how bad the scale is on Soul Eater. Life Siphon damage, a 2% power modifier.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wow.
I think Brazil, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, and then you have like that. Just by default makes lifesteal actually mean something, because you can just mitigate some of the cost that you're paying. Like there's actual just keep the lifesteal the same. Like who cares? Just make it like numbers that you see on the screen. And like then there's actually like synergy that's really cool and it's awesome.
Brazil, though, I think that's such a good mechanic that they can't just put it on like a year into a Reaper.
No, I agree. Trade. They can't do that.
They need to save that for the next elite spec, because they can use that mechanic on all their skills. The next
elite spec has to be condition damage, because because Reaper was just sold to be this crazy power
spec,
necro. Yeah, it was sold to be the power spec.
Which it's terrible at.
It is technically the power spec.
Good.
It is the power
spec. Amazing in PvE for it. I think what they could do with the next. Wait, Brazil, are you talking about muted?
What?
Oh no, because you have a box around you. Sorry. What they could do for the next spec is use your mechanic and just have one line that's power, one line that's condi, and one line that's something else, tankiness or something.
Make them supporty.
Yeah, make it a little supporty, but make it about sacrificing your life to do cool things.
No, it needs to be on Reaper. It has to be on Reaper.
Well, there's no reason why there can't be some power synergies in the next trait line.
Yeah, I mean just like there are condition damage synergies on this one.
It depends if you can take multiple elite specializations, or if there is any going to be interaction there. Because they said that you won't be able to, but they say they might consider it, right? There could be some very weird interactions.
Because what's the leak? What's the leak? Necromancer gets torched, right?
That's the leak. Torch for burning. Yeah.
So it's gonna be condition damage. It's gonna have Doomfire. It's gonna actually Necromancer will finally actually have a way to do burning.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Like they should just change Soul Eater. Just change it, because my idea is good. I don't think you can deny that. I have a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just change it. Yeah. Like, whatever.
They could also just change it to, instead of stealing 100 life, it could steal the amount of damage you do, or like a 10% of the amount of damage you do on your Gravedigger.
That I would actually really like.
I think we talked about that once.
But can you see the problem here though? So okay,
well, maybe not 10%.
So let's say it's 10%. Okay, so you press Gravedigger and you hit 5 adds. The Gravediggers all crit for 30k.
Yeah.
And you heal for 3k on
3,000 each. Exactly. So the healing doesn't change, but the damage changes. The damage changes. The healing might not have to change. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, all right.
But in general, in that case, you should just make all life steals scale better off of power.
Yeah, I think actually Boots is right. I think if they buff the power scaling on Vampiric Presence, the buff, and on Soul Eater, I think Power Necro would actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could give Vampiric Presence and each hit all of your friends do, instead of doing...
It's like
what is
30
it,
damage right now. Like 30,
damage,
40
instead
damage.
if it did
Like,
70 damage?
nah, I think you could even go a bit
100
crazier.
damage?
I think Necro is so far behind in damage, you could probably put it to like 100 damage.
Yeah, 100 damage, let's say...
If on every
how quickly
hit
do people
you did
attack?
100 damage... Well, stuff like Fresh Air Ellie is attacking all the time, right?
Yeah, like 3 hits per second at least.
Yeah. That's a lot of hits. You could be adding a
Power
good chunk of
Necro-
DPS to people.
Yeah.
Power Necro is pretty much on the same level as Revenant, right?
I think Rev...
Damage-wise, they're pretty close. within
is
a couple
Rev
of
better? Rev might even be better.
Rev might be better. Or it definitely was better. I don't
Well,
know. If it still is
I
better.
think they're pretty close now. Either way, a number of classes need their damage normalized because they're just not.
Yeah, the lifesteal change would buff Ellie, but everything buffs Ellie, so it doesn't matter.
Of course, Rev is still better. What do you mean, of course?
Deathmore makes a good point. 10% on Gravedigger for lifesteal and damage it's not even as OP compared to Invigorating Precision for a thief.
Yeah, Invigorating Precision is just a broken trait, though. Same with the Necro one. The Necro one doesn't matter because Necro doesn't do that much damage, but like the Necro one is actually ridiculous if you really think about it in PvE, right? It's 10% of your condition damage goes to healing, and there's stuff like Epidemic. So, oh, okay, well, you know, yeah, you're just unkillable when you're attacking more than one target, and it's the same with Thief.
Yeah, I mean, realistic Revenant is 25k.
Yeah, but you
Probably
also
actually a little bit lower than that.
But you also have Assassin's Presence, right?
So it's still
Right,
5k.
Right, that buffs the whole party by what, 2 or 3k, something like that.
Yeah, it's around that. Yeah, it's like the net,
Which is
DPS
great, that's a
of having
plus,
a Rev
but-
is like 28k DPS realistic.
Yeah, Rev is still, and it's 33k unrealistic versus 28 at the most possible unrealistic. So it's still 5k better.
It's pretty similar.
Then
It's pretty similar. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah. You know, Raya is right here, a rider. And you know, the thing is with Necro is like if they tweak it too much, it's just going to be completely broken, right? There's just something inherent with the class that if you buff it too much, it's suddenly broken, right?
It's been a
Gosh, I
problem for a
really-
long time.
I really like that idea though, that mechanic about sacrificing your own life to do cool things.
Yeah, it was so good that they made a champion in League of Legends called Mordekaiser, and it was like the
Yeah.
ultimate champion.
Well,
And he
Mordekaiser
was
is the best.
broken because you could stack 6 gunblades on it and just one-shot everyone in the game because, you know, the power damage and the life, like I don't know. And then
I
they made
feel-
Mordekaiser, like, I don't know.
Didn't
It was a good
I mean
champion.
currently Necro sort of has something like that with corruption skills where they put
Correct.
conditions on themselves. But if it was just health itself, that'd be good. I think they had it in Guild Wars 1 for Necromancer.
They had orders where you sacrifice life and you buff the team, which is I think is what they should add for the next elite specialization.
I agree.
I've said that, this is what I thought Reaper was actually going to be. I thought the shouts would be weird, like they would be unique modifiers. I thought the shouts would be buffs. They'd be team support.
I think they need to add a new skill type, orders,
Yep.
and that's what they're going to get. Five different orders.
And
or 6 different orders.
it does some really, I don't know, like like equivalent orders would be stuff like sacrifice like 17% of your health, your allies' attacks, or rip a boon for the next 3 attacks or something. But the thing is, that's
Order
kind
of
of
Vampire.
oh, you know, that's a
I
bit.
have
You
to
know,
answer a question. Yes, I know how they reworked Mordekaiser, and if you're actually good at it, he was actually a good champion. Like you could play him and you could just blow people up. But people were good at Mordekaiser, so to speak, when it took no skill, and it was just like press some buttons and just wreck people.
yeah. Order of the Vampire. Yeah, bring back Order of the Vampire. That would actually be really good.
Yeah. And then you'd have 100. You would even have to buff lifesteal anymore. You just have 100 damage instead
Yeah.
per hit.
Yeah. Orders.
So,
Bring it back.
what do you think they're gonna do with Engineer?
They're just gonna buff some skills. That's it.
You think they're gonna simplify?
No.
You don't think they're going to simplify the class at all?
If they I don't think they'll simplify the class because I don't know.
It doesn't need to be simplified. It's easy to play.
I'm reliably told by a bunch of people that once you have the muscle memory, it's not actually that hard to play anyway.
It's not even muscle memory.
Well, that's not really my contention. It just seems like they're simplifying a number of classes in the game to make them easier to play.
So why not do that, Angie?
It's engineers not hard to play. It is. Look at this. I have
I wouldn't
9
say that
different
Druid
skills
is hard to play.
on 3 different buttons, and all of the cooldowns match up. So I press one skill, I press the other skill, and I press the other skill, and look at that, the cooldowns match up. So now I go to this kit, and I press these skills, and then I go to this thing, and I press these skills, and I go back to the first one, up the cooldowns up, I use it. And it all matches up, and it's easy. You're pressing like a couple of buttons. You're essentially pressing 3 buttons. You're just pressing other buttons to modify those. It's easy. And like if you want to get crazy, you press like F4 or something for napalm or the incendiary ammo, whatever it is. It's not hard.
Brazil's 20k DPS rotation, Frost flames you.
If you think that engineer is hard to play, you're just bad at it. Like there's no that's just the unavoidable absolute conclusion.
Are you saying Frost is bad? Is Frost new?
Yes. Well, if Frost thinks engineer is hard, then he is bad at engineer.
Uncle Beamish makes the point though that it is harder than other classes to do the same DPS.
Not.
The thing is though that actually doesn't matter. Here's the thing.
It's not. If you're actually trying on Thief, you have to aim Weakening Charge, and that's the most annoying thing to conceivably do in a raid or any environment. Weakening Charge is just it's absurd. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't care.
It's funny. I try and do that all the time, just wherever I'm at in the game.
Playing engineer and using 3 buttons is not harder than using auto attack chain twice on Thief, and then dodging, and then pressing vault, and then auto-attacking twice, and then doing the same thing again. It's easy. Like, it's not any harder than Guardian, where you
Easy. But I think it doesn't matter how hard a class is. What actually matters is whether it's balanced or not, to a certain extent. Like, you can... The skill ceiling should not really be concerning, and that's something you see, ArenaNet try to bop, right? But you shouldn't be punished for being good at the game, I mean, you can run around auto-attacking on Thief, going crazy and hitting, like 20k, over 20k DPS. But you can also play a class that's a bit more difficult, right?
You've missed the point. If one person is good at a class, we have to balance it for everyone else. That's the logic.
Well, I mean, honestly, this is actually a serious problem. Like, they are nerfing things because they're seeing all these QT videos and thinking, hang on a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
QT.
I'm sorry. QT is better, collectively better than the entire rest of the game.
I don't know if Rocker's here. Hey, Rocker, don't get too attached to Condi Ranger, bro. You just did 5-man Sabbather with only Condi Rangers on DPS. See you later. That's next on the chopping block, and that's your fault, Lucky Noobs. So good job. Connie Ranger's about to get demolished. It's overtuned. It's gone now. It's been demonstrated that if you play it really well, you can fucking destroy Sabbather with it. Not anymore. So there you go.
What's sad about that is I just started playing Connie Ranger like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're just late to the party again.
I'm late to the party, and by the time I get there, they nerf it and no longer can play it anyway.
I just think everybody should just start playing Condi Guardian.
Well, I mean, if those buffs go through, everyone will be. It's actually going to be good.
If it was
going to be too good.
Any good.
Oh, shit. Look at this. Deathmore knows. That was the whole point, to nerf Condi Ranger so Ellie is the only DPS option.
It's possible. No, I think for Condi Guardian, if what Nike said is true, they're not.
I haven't heard this.
It's that the justice passive would be the same thing that's in PvP right now. Would go to PvE.
What is the justice passive?
Right now, it's 2 seconds of fire every 5 hits. And in PvP right now, it's 4 seconds of fire every 5 hits.
Okay.
And so they're doubling the Justice passive damage.
Yeah.
And on a Condi Guardian, the damage from a Justice passive by itself is already 8k, 9k damage.
Yeah.
So it would be doubled. So you get an additional 8k damage on top of what Condi Guardian already does, which is, I think, 28, 27. Yeah. So it would be 35 base. And then when the actual effect of the Justice passive effect of when there's multiple targets there, it would just be crazy after that.
Insane. It's gonna get crazy.
Get crazy.
Yeah, take roots getting a nerf. Yeah, I can definitely see that one coming, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're gonna delete it. They're just gonna. Thing is, they're not gonna nerf it. They're not gonna nerf it. They're gonna lich form it. They're gonna delete it from the game.
They're gonna revenant it.
Yeah.
They're just gonna.
It will be. They're gonna wait. Hang on. They're gonna smiter's boon it. They're gonna give it the old smiter's boon treatment. Like make it completely fucking hell trash. There we go. That's gonna be.
Thief should have Assassin's Presence.
Yeah, just take it away from Rev. Give it to Thief.
They'll get Assassin's Presence when they get their Assassin Elite specialization.
Mm.
Yeah. Necro will have no use for Elite.
I could definitely see that happening.
What about Flesh Golem? Flesh Golem, it's pretty good, you know? They wanted to add Flesh Golem into the game.
They're gonna nerf Flesh Golem because the CC is way too strong.
Is it really?
It's very good, but I don't think they're gonna.
2 Flesh Golems breaks any break bar in fractals.
But so does like
Moa.
Revenant Staff 5.
Yeah, but like Flesh Golem is just an AFK skill. And you take 4 Necros and like a healer into fractals, and you just basically roll over everything. And like that's why they have to do something about Epidemic, because that fixes Necro fractals.
But the thing is, though, isn't that... But that's nice gameplay, though. That's good gameplay for ArenaNet, because it's just casual. People, you know, that's the whole point, right? They want you to be able to go into fractals and just auto-attack stuff to death with Scepter. Easy. Right?
I wouldn't. Okay, so I could see them definitely nerfing Take a Root, but I don't think they're going to do that to Flesh Golem. Flesh Golem, there's already a skill in there that's the same thing on the Revenant. The reason why they would nerf Take Root as opposed to something like Flesh Golem is because Take Root is a racial skill. And that's
they don't
there should be no racial skills that are better than any other skills. It's
a Sylvari skill.
Yeah, Sylvari racial, where you turn into a tree and spawn turrets, and they bleed and they do a lot of damage.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
It's pretty good.
I think it's like 5k damage.
They need to bring bear form back.
Yeah.
Bring back bear form. It's good.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty good. I don't know.
Good for ArenaNet. Then you'll have to reroll.
Robo doesn't understand how people enjoy fractals because it's incredibly easy, and you can get, a decent chunk of gold for basically no effort, Robo. That's why.
How often do you get Ascended
How did people
armor
enjoy
from fractals?
dungeons the same way? I mean,
how often do you get Ascended armor from fractals?
Very uncommonly.
Oh, okay.
No.
I haven't gotten anything for ages, actually.
I had, and I don't even do
I
my
got a
fractals
whole
every
set of
day.
armor from it for my. What did I put it on? My engineer? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, you do get.
I got 4 armor boxes. I got 4 armor boxes and 1 weapon box last month from fractals, and I don't even do them every day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
It's pretty good when it.
But
when it
you
adds
can
up.
can't you also exchange some sort of tokens for Ascended armor now too?
Yeah, but it's way
cost
too
gold though, and it's not worth it.
It's not worth.
Oh, okay.
It's not worth. Before Necros, fractals don't take 20 minutes. No, you can roll fractals with 4 Necros and a Druid in like half an hour, honestly.
You guys are, like I said, Hamato, I don't do fractals every single day. I'll look at the fractals, and if they seem annoying, I just won't even bother with them half the time.
I guess I've been spoiled by PvP with the Ascended armor you get there.
So
Yeah,
easy,
because they give it to you for losing.
Yeah, it's so easy to get.
Job.
I haven't actually used my PvP armor set though. I'm kind of saving it for when I actually want to make a set. You know.
Thanks for showing up to PvP. Here's some Ascended armor.
Yeah.
I got a full set and an extra couple of pieces for my medium set now too. I almost have one set of ascended armor per armor class now.
Woo! Wow. I have a lot of ascended sets.
I don't know if I get like 50 gold a day on the high end from fractals, but you can make decent money.
Yep.
I think everything I have has no. My Revenant doesn't have ascended armor. Doesn't have anything on it right now because I've moved.
How many
it to my
characters do you
Guardian.
have?
I don't know. I can go count.
And they all have
Let me
ascended
gather
armor?
this node. No, my
25.
Revenant's the only one that doesn't.
Okay, that's still impressive.
I mean, like almost all of it was free.
From
From raiding
and raiding, whatever.
fractals.
Also, I've been meaning to ask you, where do I trade in the minis that you get from raiding to get more tokens?
So you trade it to Jenna.
Scholar Glenna inside the instances. That's where you go.
Okay, and you get like 40?
40 for a mini.
40 for minis, salvaging armor, trinkets is 60.
60, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I got 3 minis from the one we just did, Teapot. Last
Yeah.
week.
What boss did we do? We did Matthias.
Let me go. Let me find how many
Sloth
characters
to
I have.
Matthias.
We did Wing 2, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a clown fiesta, I remember that.
it was a little bit, yeah. And it was only partly my fault.
It wasn't really your fault, they were just noobs.
I have 11 characters geared in ascended armor.
Yeah.
Like ascended everything.
That's a lot of ascended gear.
Yeah, there's a lot of ascended gear.
Yeah,
I
that's the good
have
stuff.
I have friends that have like 30, 40 characters geared in ascended armor.
So you said you're missing the Revenant
Yeah, and Ranger.
and Ranger. So at least one of those got to be where you're going to put your legendary armor when you get it in on
That's
episode 5.
going on my thief.
Okay.
Unless the
Because your thief's going to
medium
be all
is bad.
legendaries.
Yep.
Nice.
So what else did the post say? So they're nerfing multi-loot,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Had
and
it coming.
they're
Which is good.
Had it coming.
which we all knew was coming.
Yeah.
So Glob of
And
Ectoplasm. Spike
I like what this says. I really like what this says. This is really good. I love how optimistic Mike is here. Look, this release will also include a new challenging group farming spot for leather. So basically what that means is that people are just going to be rolling over it constantly with like fucking you just start Guardian staff auto attacking everything down, you know? It's like, maybe they're gonna go all to Quatl on it and add some kind of giant world boss. It's actually hard, but realistically, it's gonna be a farm fiesta, and people are just gonna be rolling it. You know,
It's just Van Darkholm in his leather suit, and you just auto attack him, and it falls off.
What I hope.
and the goal is that you don't let him fist you, because if he gets
Yep.
you, then you just rupture because of his giant arm. He gets his whole arm up there, you know.
So when the post was put on Reddit, I think one of the first people commenting on it just complained that nothing was said about World versus World. And so I thought, great 2 birds, 1 stone idea for the challenging leather is make it so that now you could flay the bodies of your enemies in World versus World,
what
and you
the
get
fuck?
leather.
It's a little too graphic for Guild Wars 2. Maybe the yaks you can
What
skin.
the-
The yaks too, I guess. But actually, the yaks you could get probably if you get like a ton of leather.
Funny.
From yaks.
It's funny that you went right for skinning players and didn't think
the
about
players.
skinning the yaks at all.
How cathartic would it be after a long fought battle or like just
With a
mowing
yak?
over people? No, for the people.
You get more leather from Char than you do from an Asura player.
Yeah, of course. And
So the meta will be to play all Asura.
Sylvaria will get you wood.
Yeah. you just start chopping them down. You just chop their corpse
That's right.
into little pieces.
Depending on your level, you get different levels of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So like, level 1 to 5 is like the sapling, level 80 is the elder wood.
I mean, that would be an instant revitalization of World vs. World if you
Yeah,
get
because people would just be
leather.
actually farming each other, though.
farming each other.
Yeah, actually literally farming each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually be.
But
pretty
that's probably
fun.
not. So what? So you think it's going to be a world boss then instead?
I think
it'll be in the new map.
It will be some kind of. It'll be some kind of big event chain. I think.
I can see that.
It,
And I think it'll be in the new
it will
map.
culminate with the world boss, because what have people been complaining about, including me? I was not really complaining. I'm just kind of a bit weirded out by it. There's no big meta event on the new maps, right? Like all of us have been going, what the fuck? Where's the big boy? Where's the big boy? Where's the big boy? There is no big boy. There's only little lads around the edges. I mean, on Bloodstone Fen, there's kind of the giant event with the Veil Guardian, like the Unbound Guardian. But I
just don't think. See, even if there is a meta event with the big boss at the end, I don't think it's going to be, like a Tequatl or a Shatter or even a Fire Elemental kind of boss. I think it's just going to be, you know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be any real mechanics.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be Jormag.
No, I don't think it's going to be that mechanically heavy, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
Well, this is challenging, so I think it will require some coordination, right?
Yeah.
You can't just be AFK, right?
You think half of the reason they didn't put big boys on each of the new maps is because a lot of people were complaining that there were big boys on each of the HOT maps?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why you would complain about that. Like, Chak Garant is actually a good fight, right? Like, Octavine is kind of, whatever. And Verdant Brink is kind of cool with all the little mini bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, but I think that there's for some people, and I sort of fall into this category, there's this idea that every map with the Heart of Thorns expansion, and I'm not talking about Living World, I'm just talking about the 4 Heart of Thorns maps, every map is a meta event in and itself, and so it's always running on a timer, so you feel like, okay, I gotta do Verdant Brink, and then this map, and then this map, and then this map, and then we recycle to the event, so you're constantly going from event to event rather than just exploring the map and doing dynamic events that don't really exist that great in Heart of Thorns. I mean, they're there, but they're kind of a side thing rather than the main driving force of the map. And so I think when they started the living story maps, when they started doing the living story maps, I think they wanted to sort of take a break from that, especially because they're smaller maps as well. But I think it's time that they bring some of that back. I think they need to bring back a map. It's been it's been a while since they've had something like that, and I really thought that Bitter Frost Frontier was going to have that. A culmination of some big boss before you fail, storm hits, you don't fail, then save the day. But that didn't happen.
You think you want maps with exploration, but you don't. That's what Frost says.
What if? Okay, hold on a second, guys. What if in that little corner, past that little corner, there's a gate or something that gets knocked down, a big ice wall, and there's a new map past that, and the entire new map is as cold as that little area that you have to get the potion for, the elixir for.
Well, that's my initial thought with regards to this post, right? They're gonna just revamp that unfinished area, the bitter cold or whatever. They're just gonna patch it. Somehow you fight the Svanir there and the Ice Brood, but actually they're actually leather. They're actually leather.
They drop lots of leather.
They just put it in the loot table. Fuck it, just put it in the loot table. Doesn't matter. They drop bags of leather.
Ice Brood bears everywhere.
I definitely see that being a thing, but then they need to make the is there still problems getting that elixir every day for some people? Or did they fix all that stuff?
Well, I've never had any trouble with this, though. That's the thing, right? I've never had any problems with it. I don't know. I was like, just make the elixir,
I mean, I think the farm's going to be on the new map, but I definitely could see them. Another possible spot is putting it on Bitterfrost Frontier in that area. There's nothing in that area.
I bring that up just because I think that it is, like we said before, it is silly that you have to get this elixir to go to this area and there's nothing there. So there should be some reason to do the elixir. And what if the entire new map past that area is you need the elixir on you while you're there? So if you waypoint in, you're going to die unless you have the elixir.
Okay.
Would that be something you would be opposed to? Or is that something that makes sense to you?
I think having it as a separate map is a bit weird. I would just have it as an extension. If they're going to do that, I would just extend the map, make the map bigger, like they do with Dry Top and Silver Waste, right? As they patch, it just increases the size. I wouldn't have it as a separate instance, right? I'd have it in the same instance.
Yeah, that would be too. Yeah, that'd be too mean. unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just need stuff in the area, I guess.
So for the next patch, we go to wherever we're going, like the Isles of Jantha, and they extend the map a little bit, and they put the leather farm in. They put the leather club in.
The only thing about that area in the bitter cold, is that what it's called? The only thing about that area is if you have a massive Zerg, there's not nearly, I don't think there's nearly enough mobs to really make it a good farm. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of wrong on that, but I feel like if you have a large number of players in that small area, you know what I mean? You run out of steam quickly.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good point, actually.
Depends how lucrative it is. That's
But that's the other thing. I don't think if they do revamp it, fine. I think that's a good idea. I just don't think they could also make that the leather farm there, because if that's the case, nobody's ever going to leave the that map, because you have the berry farm there, which is already good, and then if you add the leather farm to it as well,
that might not be a bad thing for ArenaNet.
Yeah,
I guess. But then no other map's going to have anybody in it.
Value out of that map.
I mean, the only map right now is this multi-loot anyway, so...
Wait, are we not getting a new map this patch?
Yeah, I think we should.
Probably are.
Yeah.
Okay.
We certainly should be, but I mean, it's just kind of, well... It's a hard fact. It's a tough pill for ArenaNet to swallow, but wherever the best farm is, that's where the players are going to be.
And
Doesn't matter.
And that's why I was saying I think that the leather farm is probably going to be part of the new map. But if it's not on the new map, then that bitter cold area makes sense because it's just wasted space, really.
Mm.
Yep, it actually does nothing. It is actually just a dead zone. It's the dead zone. There's nothing there. It's I don't know. What could they possibly have thought you would do there? Is it maybe we're just getting pranked? Have we missed? Has everyone missed?
Maybe there's something we missed. Yeah, maybe there's something we should be doing there. Did anybody check, like, after you defeat the 9 bosses?
Yes, I've been there many different times.
Have you been there at 12:01 a.m. Pacific time?
Damn it, Boots! Yes, I have a chart.
He's been doing science, been experimenting, subjecting the map to various conditions, and still nothing happens. Nothing ever happens. Well, I don't know. I mean, Inks, I was kind of expecting you just to start flaming this forum post, because we saw you on Twitter and on Discord just going crazy.
I wasn't
absolutely losing it.
Wasn't happy about the balance comment, and we haven't even talked about it yet. But along with this great news about the leather farm and about AB getting nerfed finally, which makes a lot of people happy, we got some news on some legendary armor.
Yeah, you want legendary armor?
6 months away.
It's not. It's not 6 months away.
No,
it's 6 months away.
So as it stands,
it's 3 months max, right?
Yeah,
because if it doesn't come this one, it's 6 months away. Trust me. You guys didn't think that Donald Trump was going to get elected president either, but I told you he was. So 6 months on legendary armor.
But look,
you cannot believe me, but that doesn't change the outcome.
It's not coming with this patch, but they're looking to ship it with episode 5.
Maybe.
And it won't come with episode 5.
Why not?
Maybe.
Because it hasn't come out the past year, and they don't know how to handle it. And there's going to be some.
When was the last
fun.
time they spoke about legendary armor and gave any kind of date as to when it was going to come out?
Do you remember that legendary heavy armor preview that was basically just a Michael Bay movie with Optimus Prime?
Did they say when the legendary armor was coming out at that point?
No, they didn't give a date for it. They said the other two were nowhere near ready.
Right. And so everything up until now has been super pessimistic, right?
Yeah, and it still is, because they said it'll come out maybe the next episode, and it won't. So it's going to be 6 months away. My
point is that everything we ever hear from ArenaNet nowadays is very hush-hush until they have something to talk about, right?
Right.
And so if they gave any inclination about legendary armor, they have to. I believe that they probably are.
Yes, and they
very
said
likely to be able to.
It might come out the next episode, so that means that it won't.
It means that it might.
This is
It means
Mike.
that it won't.
This is Mike. He plays it close to the chest, and if he's saying something,
If legendary armor comes out next patch, I'll show my face on stream. No beard, short hair. I'll show it.
Is that a deal? Is that actually happening?
Let's write that down.
Right. Twitch chat.
Someone clip this.
Clip this shit. Clip it. Okay. Because that is a thing. You will get to see the real Brazil. You'll see
How do you think this affects raids?
Legendary armor?
Yeah.
It just means
you think it
that
affects it at all?
Well,
no?
it means that the next raid is coming before episode 5.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Right, because they have to release a new raid because there's still some of the collection to fill out, right, for the second precursor armor set.
Now, they haven't talked about it all, but do you think that it will let us finish the precursor armor, step 2?
Yeah.
And not the legendary armor? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Yes. I think so. Yeah. So there'll be
then Brazil could be right. They can get another 6 months out of us if they.
I don't understand why you don't believe me.
So there's going to be a new raid, and there's the legendary armor, and then there'll probably be another step that you'll need open world to do, and the open world will be the living story, and then they patch legendary armor with episode 5, and you need episode 5 to finish legendary armor. Simple.
Does that mean episode 5 is the last episode?
No, I think episode 6 will be the last episode.
Okay.
And then episode 6, then expansion. Yeah.
Which means that living story could finish in July or August.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or before that.
And then they'll be hyping the expansion up until.
Well, no, because episode 5 is going to be April or May.
Yeah.
Probably April, but maybe.
Yeah,
May.
You're right. So July or August.
So July, August at the latest, but probably July.
Yeah. Okay. And then straight into the expansion, right? 1 month later.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. It will be. I reckon it will be a very similar release time. I reckon. Wait, when did it release? Like
expansion.
November.
The expansion comes out in November of this year. For sure.
I agree with that definitely. I think it will be.
So if it finishes in, let's give it an early estimation. Let's say they finish in July. Then they announce the expansion. Oh my gosh, guys, expansion! And it
get
launches
a video at the
in
end
November.
Yep.
That gives us how many months?
Wait.
3? 4?
Yeah, a little bit of downtime. A little bit longer than the normal break.
I mean, that's not.
Maybe.
As long as they're good with news updates, that's not too bad.
Maybe they squeeze out another raid, a cheeky little raid before the.
Maybe it's not going to happen, but that'd be great.
Wait, what the fuck, Boots? I'm here. Me and you are trying to be the optimistic ones, and you just slam me.
It doesn't work in this game.
Not another raid. If there's 2 raid wings or something, yeah.
Oh no, not a whole raid. Not a raid wing. A raid wing. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Not a whole raid. Not a whole raid. Yeah. That would be silly. Okay, yeah, that would be silly.
Yeah.
But a raid, maybe like 2 bosses, like a 1 boss. I don't care. Like a warm up for the expansion, a desert themed boss for when we go to obviously Alona, where we're going next. Obviously,
could work.
I mean, again, we look at the subreddit and what do we see? That Sharma he data mines some Elonian hairstyles.
Very Elonian.
They put the Janundu in.
Yeah, they accidentally put the giant worm in. There's been leaked photos of leaked screenshots of various locations.
If all of these leaks were just misdirections and we're going to Cantha.
Oh shit! The prank.
I wish.
That would actually be good. They're just on another level, you know. They're just on a whole new level compared to the rest of us.
Are you happy with 1 raid per year?
It's 2 raids. Oh, 1 raid per year. 2 raids per expansion. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really expect anything other than that, so it's just what it is for me.
I have to say, I thought they could do a bit better, but
they can do a bit better, but they're held hostage by legendary armor. Which
you really think that's what it is?
Part of it.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. It's certainly a big part of it.
That might be part of it.
It is.
Yeah, that might be part of it. But
interesting.
If the raid team is only 5 to 7 people, Do you think
Right.
they could? Do you think this might be the fastest they could do it
No.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think that's a possibility.
for this the quality that we're getting at least?
Uh,
I think that's a possibility.
they seem to be very
I think-
efficient though at getting the job done.
Yeah, they do it well.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I wish there were 2 raid teams and 2 fractal teams, but we don't live in that world, unfortunately.
Mm. I hope they do. I
Unless-
kind of hope they don't make another set of legendary armor, at least in PvE. Like,
I don't think they're
foist,
going to.
I don't.
foist that shit on PvP or something. Then PvP can get maliciously cucked by fucking legendary armor constantly, you know? Like, oh,
Think
well,
so.
they'll put it. Let's give it to world. The next legendary armor set is world versus world. Like, nothing happens for 2 years while they try and finish the legendary armor set. That would actually be pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, actually, Inks, there might be 2 raid teams and 2 fractal teams, but one of each of those teams might be held up on the expansion right now.
So
They
during
might
the
be
Ask Me-
doing these things for the expansion.
Right, that's possible. So during the Ask Me Anything, we did learn that for Wing 2 and Wing 3, the raid team did sort of split to work on those. Like the same members who worked on Wing 3 didn't necessarily all work on Wing 2, but the entire team worked on Wing 1 of the raid. So there's obviously some variance in splitting that happens within the team itself. So sometimes it might be 6 or 7 people. Sometimes it might be a couple more, depending on how it splits. But I'm talking about 2 full independent raid teams working at the same time on the live game. I'm not talking about the expansion devs and what they're working on, because I'm sure that is, at least I hope that is something that's happening, that there's, an expansion raid developers and expansion fractal developers, something the game definitely needs to sell with in the next expansion. But I don't know. Then again, ArenaNet has like approximately 300 developers. So those small teams sort of start to add up pretty quickly, I guess. And there's only so many artists and there's only so many animators and blah, blah, blah. And it just feels like we constantly hear this discussion about, and of course, ArenaNet's never going to tell you how many they're never going to give you exact numbers, obviously, but
They gave pretty close not too long ago.
yeah, and the one Ask Me Anything, they gave some pretty telling numbers, actually, which was shocking, kind of surprising. But it just feels like a lot of the times when we get either Living Story or whatever patch it is, it always feels like we needed a little more time or a little more resources to sort of expand this a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like we hear that a lot,
I think they're currently working at their capabilities, and I think asking for more is unlikely gonna happen because they're doing the best they can. They have less than 300 people, it seems, at least internally for devs, and I think that's as fast as we're getting content is as fast as they can make content. We'll see with the next expansion what kind of additional content they're working on in the background. But I expect it to be very similar to the last expansion.
Oof. That makes me sad.
That
makes me sad and extremely nervous. That's not good. That's not good.
Not a fan? Not a fan of that?
Not a fan of that plan.
No? You don't think that's the way to go, Inks?
No, I don't. I think there's definite truth in what Boots is saying, but I'm not a fan of that plan of action.
I think, yeah. I mean, everybody wants more, right? Like, how could you not want more of everything? But there's only certain things you could reasonably expect from a company the size of ArenaNet.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's absolutely true. But when you're working on an expansion, when you're trying to sell the expansion to not only bring back old players, you're trying to entice those new MMO players to come try it out, you need to give a little bit more than Heart of Thorns gave.
Yeah, I would say there should be better, more exciting features, more exciting Actually, I don't know. Do you think it needs more maps? Do you think it needs? I definitely think it needs a longer story.
A little bit more of everything.
A little bit more of
everything.
I actually think if they marketed it a little bit different, if they stopped marketing it as an expansion pack, because when people think expansion pack, they think Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, right? The WoW expansions. And when you get a WoW expansion, you get a good chunk of content, right? There's a lot of stuff to do there. And then you're gonna get, big raid patches as well with WoW, and you get a lot of stuff. So as soon as you start saying Heart of Thorns is an expansion pack, people are saying, "There's gonna be so much more to do, guys. We're gonna get in Guild Wars 2. It's like a whole new game." But that's not what it is, really, is it? It was like a gameplay redesign almost, right? As opposed to.
And they've said that they laid a lot of the groundwork, but some of that groundwork is sort of questionable in how well it was executed or how popular it really is. So, and if you look at Heart of Thorns as a whole, if you include the living world and if you include the raids and if you look at that whole block, it's okay, but it wasn't stellar. It wasn't amazing, and the next expansion has to be amazing. You have to sell
what if
it's fractals.
What if it's slightly better than Heart of Thorns, but $20 less?
The price is irrelevant.
Is
it? I know that people will argue with that, but if you deliver a good expansion, people won't mind paying $50. But when you deliver,
what was the top post on the Guild Wars 2 Reddit of all time?
What's one of your most viewed videos of all time, Brazil?
Yep. That video had my most interaction of any video I've ever put up.
Sure,
and it was mostly a social experiment because I knew that was what was going to happen. I just wanted to make sure.
Right, and if you deliver Heart of Thorns with what it had at launch, I agree. But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to sell at that price point, you need to deliver more. You just talked about Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade, and that's like a large chunk of content that players. I mean, there's always going to be some people who didn't agree with the price, but most of the players didn't really have a problem forking out the cash and monthly sub for those expansions, right?
Yeah.
So
there have been disappointments. I mean, people were not happy with Warlords, right?
Sure.
People were not happy with the end state of Warlords when Warlords was concluded. They weren't happy about that. But I think if they because the words matter, right? The words matter, and if they go with expansion pack again, that might kind of raise people's expectations to be not what it actually is. But when you actually consider it, Heart of Thorns is actually really good, right? It is actually really, really good. I mean, if you add up the value you've got out of it. But the thing is, people they weren't expecting Heart of Thorns to be what it was. They were expecting Heart of Thorns to be this big thing, new game, go out and explore everything. But what it actually was is
dungeon.
What it actually was they really changed. They massively revitalized the gameplay, right? They've added all these elite specializations in. The game is very, very different, right? And then they add raids, and you get living story. If you had all of that on launch, you think, hey, that's pretty good. But actually, because you have to wait to get your value, people are a little bit triggered by that because it's not something that typically gets used. It's not something that typically happens.
And some players won't stick around for the entire, you can look at WoW numbers at what they're like at launch and what they're like 6 months after launch, right? There's a significant difference. Still better than any other MMO, but, regardless of that, there's significant drop-off. Players play the content, they move on to another game. So not everybody is going to look at the long-term value of Heart of Thorns. But if you don't call it an expansion, what do you want to call it? You want to call it a $50 DLC? Is that what you want to call it?
It depends if they can do it for less, right? It depends if they can ship it for less. It really depends how much they can afford. I don't know.
I mean, if we get mounts, which seems like a pretty solid lead, then that's the new glider in the gem store. You can expect rainbow colored worms and whatever else you're gonna mount, raptors, and what were some of the other weird
rainbow colored worms. Can I get a Gachi-gasm in the chat for that?
So that it's I don't know.
So do you guys think they should try and ship it for less than, like, say $35 or $40?
20.
20. I think $20 is Heart of Thorns is worth more than $20. I think.
I think it depends on what you could get in the
Subjective.
expansion compared to what you get in the core game and Heart of Thorns. As both content and like pieces of armor inside the game and just things that are unlocked for you. Like I would rather it be $30 if it's going to be the same size as HOT, honestly though.
35 I think is a fair price for HOT, but I don't know. I don't know if that's what they're going to do or not.
Well, again, there's another complication here, though, isn't there? Because it seems quite likely that when they sell this expansion, they're also going to be packaging in Heart of Thorns and the base game. Right?
Oh, you think? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
They will.
Yeah,
No,
they will.
they absolutely will.
They will do that. They have to. They have to.
Of course they will.
They
Boots.
can't not.
Yeah.
They can't not do that. Though. That's the thing.
So
right?
what about how about this? They do that for $50. But
not gonna give you a price reduction.
But if you already have Heart of Thorns, it's only
It won't give you a price reduction.
No, they're not giving you a price reduction. We've been over this with freaking. This is what people wanted, right? They didn't want to pay $50 because they already own the base game. Where's my $20 off, ArenaNet? Where's my X amount of dollars off? They're not going to do that. They're going to sell you the expansion or whatever the hell you want to call it for X amount of dollars.
There's a difference. There's a difference
everything.
Because in that situation, the core game was becoming free to play. In this situation, I don't think Heart of Thorns is ever going to become free to play. Well, it will. That's a stupid thing to say. It will eventually, but not when the new expansion comes out.
Right, and I agree that it won't be play for free, Heart of Thorns, when the next expansion comes out.
Actually, I disagree with this. I think that Heart of Thorns and the next expansion are not going to be like you're not going to have one or the other. I don't think Heart of Thorns is going to be free.
Yeah,
I don't think the next expansion is going to include Heart of Thorns. I think it's going to include only the base game, and I think they're going to charge $50 for it.
I'm saying that's a possibility, but I'm also saying that they can also do a bundle pack of $50 for Heart of Thorns and the base game, or $30 not the base game, and the expansion, or $30 just for the expansion. I think they could do that.
It's unlike them. I really don't think that's going to happen. And I think Heart of Thorns is going to be wrapped in because they want to remove the barrier to entry for the entirety of the game.
Yeah, of course.
And Guild Wars 2 is not the only one that does that. I mean, there's plenty of other.
But there is a huge difference between.
It's not that big of a difference.
There is, though, leaving behind Heart of Thorns and leaving behind the core game, because the core game is free to play. I know you're going to say that, yes, the Heart of Thorns could also be free to play, but not exactly, because they structured the way classes work now and the way masteries work now. They structured all of that so that you could compartmentalize these things.
Yep, Boots is right.
So what you're telling me is if you need gliding or something in one of the new maps, then you need to go buy Heart of Thorns. If you want to play any of the old raids, you have to go buy Heart of Thorns.
That's right.
No, they're not going to do that. I'm telling you.
Yes, they are.
That is a barrier to entry for the game. It's not going to
happen.
Right.
A part of the game, but not the core game and not the expansion.
Telling you
I have to say, that does make me thonk a bit, actually, guys.
Inks is wrong as usual.
No, it's not going to happen. One of the reasons they gave for giving you the base game was not just for play for free. It was to remove the barrier to entry into Heart of Thorns so you didn't have to buy both games for new players.
I agree, but the barrier for entry into the game is still gone. It's still free for the core game. You don't need to go to the Heart of Thorns maps. You get to level 80 easily by playing the core game, and then you could access the new expansion whenever you want.
But
it's not like ArenaNet to just basically erase Heart of Thorns from needing to play it.
It's calculated drama. It gets attention. It will generate negative attention. It will generate white knighting.
I'll have to go look for it, but I'm pretty sure last time they said that every future expac will include all earlier expansion packs.
That's a mistake then.
Did they actually say that?
How is it a mistake? It's not a mistake. That's good.
Because it's a poor business move.
I mean, that is definitely debatable whether it's a good business
No,
move
it's
for them or
not
not.
debatable. It's a poor business.
It is debatable. It is
It's
debatable
not.
because you want new players to come into your game and experience the entirety of the game,
And
rather than
buy
I
Heart of
gotta buy the
Thorns
base
and
game. I gotta buy Heart
the-
of Thorns. I gotta buy the new expansion.
No,
I'm
you don't
tired
have
of
to.
just saying,
You don't.
"Fuck
You
it, I'm
don't.
not
You don't
doing it."
have to buy the base game. The base game is included.
I'm
The
just saying
base
for-
game is
I'm saying for
included
other
in
games
each
in general.
expansion, but you buy every expansion, and you don't get each of the previous ones for free. That doesn't happen.
It does
Yeah.
happen. in other
I mean,
games.
doesn't
people are
happen.
saying, what if you really need gliding for the new maps? I'm going to say they probably aren't going to implement it in such a way that you need gliding. It'll just be a nice bonus, like in
Special
the rest of the
secret.
core game.
I don't see it happening. I would put money on it.
I think it's okay. I honestly think it's a good strategy to do it that way. I
I
really
think
do.
it's a good strategy to make new players, buy Heart of Thorns as well.
They don't have to buy it.
They don't have to
They're
buy
going
it.
to want to buy it.
Exactly.
That's how they make more money.
That's how they make money.
That's not
And
Arena's
then,
philosophy, though.
no, it is because ArenaNet
Isn't.
is a changed company. ArenaNet is evolving.
They
You're going to
going
want to
to-
have
No,
previous
th-
masteries.
This is the bottom line. This conversation that we're having right now, where people are watching in the chat with bated breath, they're like really into it, and we're really into it. They want this to happen in every single Reddit thread up until the expansion's release because it generates attention, it generates drama, it generates white knighting, it generates income. It's as simple as that. It's a calculated business move.
I don't give a shit
And-
about that.
Yeah, and you don't have to, but when it becomes a reality, then we can talk
It's
about
not
how
going
you're
to be a
wrong.
reality. You're
Guys,
wrong. You're totally wrong on this.
I was
When you
wrong about
bought
the president
Teapot,
too, right?
Teapot. When you bought Legion, what did Legion come with?
Legion. I
Did
don't
it just
know.
come with Legion?
Well, I mean, you have to. Well, I mean, you have to buy all the other fucking games. You got no choice.
No, they were giving away incentives. That here's all the
Well,
other
I don't
shit.
know.
that
Well, I don't know
nobody
what I
gives a
got with
shit about.
Legend. I don't know what I
Well,
got with
they're gonna-
Legion. What the fuck do you get with Legion? Do you not
Of
need?
course
In
they're gonna
WoW, do you
give
not need all the other?
incentives.
Don't you have to buy all the other expansion packs
You
in
have
WoW?
to buy
though?
the battle chest. you have to buy
Yeah,
all
you do have to
things
buy
with
the
it.
because you can't.
Because
No,
I had
don't.
to do that. I had to do that when I bought WoW to go play with G&T friends, and I played it for 15 minutes and then got it refunded
Can you
because
skip
it was a
all
bad
the?
game.
Can you if you have the level 100 boost or whatever? Can you skip all the other expansions?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They gave all that crap to you.
Yeah. Brilliant. You're comparing it to another game. Seriously, yeah. I mean, that's how. I don't want to
what
sound like
people
an
do.
asshole, but that's how reality works. I don't know. You compare things to other things. I mean, they're both MMOs. They are on a certain level a comparison, right?
Honestly,
Somebody needs to
I
find
just
that
think
quote, but they did make a statement, and I swear to you that
I will
they
defer to
said-
you if that quote exists. But I honestly think it's a smart thing to do it the way I'm saying it.
I think that it is not smart. to do
Here's
it that
the
way.
thing.
think
Boots'
that is the wrong way
intelligence
to
is
do it.
inferior to mine, but he happens to be correct on this particular issue.
You're both wrong.
How
That's
do
fine.
they? Okay, so okay, all right then, you guys. You're
Let's work this out.
pretty high IQ over there. Brazil and Boots, obviously very high IQ. How do they deal with the issue of gliding, basically, and the other masteries?
I just
We
said
just said.
No, you didn't though.
It's a nice
did.
bonus that's unnecessary.
No, it's not though. It's like gliding is such a big deal. You can't
Yeah,
just
it doesn't.
replace
It doesn't have to be in the new maps. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be.
so
in the
basically
new-
they are artificially limiting the design space of the new maps because they aren't going to bundle the expansion.
No, they don't have to artificially limit it. They just don't have to require gliding.
How fucking annoying are the new map? Is Heart of Thorns without gliding?
It's not gonna. Yeah.
How
but that's
annoying
part
is
of
it?
Thorns
that's
and
because it's
gliding
very
aids.
vertical. The
But
new maps.
that's
the old
because
maps.
the next ones are going to be flat, and it's going to require
It's a desert.
mounts to fly around. It's going to be a desert. Deserts don't have three-dimensional treetops and like holes in the ground and stuff.
There'll probably
like,
be holes in the ground though.
Well, there might be holes in the ground. But it's gonna be like it's gonna have a mount. You can use your mount. You can jump out of the hole if you have max mount mastery, and you can bus other people around. That was like leaked or whatever too, which is probably true.
Mount swallows
We don't
you
want to
and
leave
spits
people.
you up into the air if you have to get up high.
Exactly. Like, it's gonna have ways of dealing with that.
You're locking
they
off
also-
the current elite specializations.
Yes,
And I don't think it's going to happen. And in structured PvP as well.
That's the
It's
whole.
not gonna
That's the
happen.
whole point of that design.
That is not a good thing. That is not good. It's not.
Jesus Christ, TeaTime's going. It's guys. It's getting fucking crazy. It's getting crazy.
Why
It's
is
a
it not a
good
good thing?
business move.
You think it's a good idea to lock players out of the elite specialization when they're brand new to the game?
I don't care if it's a good idea. No. All right. Oh my
What
goodness.
are you talking about, Inks?
You just
Tell
went
me.
here. You just went here. You lose. You lost because go around and gear check people. Go around and gear check people with max masters and with their achievement points, and you'll see people that aren't wearing trinkets and have green armor with mismatching runes.
That is
So,
nothing to do with the
What
conversation.
are you talking about? New players get the core game for free, and they don't get any elite specs, right?
Correct.
And then they buy an expansion, Heart of Thorns. They have to buy that expansion to get an elite spec.
Yes.
If
And I
they
am
buy the
telling
new
you-
expansion, they'll get an elite spec.
Right.
I
but they
don't-
won't get all of the elite specs. I'm telling you that they're gonna combine it into one.
Because you'll have to
They're
buy
not
a
gonna
different
compartment-
expansion to get
They're not going to
those
put them into
elite
different
specs.
compartments. It's stupid.
Whether or not we like it. It's irrelevant to whether or not we like it or not because it's a good business move. It's a correct business move to make. Anyone who went to college for half a semester for business can tell you that it's a good business. Look, the exact same strategy just got us a new president of the United States.
what? No, that is
strategy.
That doesn't make any sense.
this fucking
generated
segue. That's not even close. No.
Business move. If won the presidency of the United States, it's gonna work for ArenaNet. It's been tested in the highest possible order.
No, Donnie Trump is not a fucking MMO expansion, Brazil.
He's a businessman, and ArenaNet have businessmen working for them. NCSoft is full of businessmen.
Okay,
They don't-
Deathmore is saying that he's got a quote. He's got the quote.
I'm looking for the quote.
Mithrin says it's legit as well. Mithrin says
Okay.
it's legit.
Yeah.
He knows these things. He knows about these things.
So that is a very nice thing to do, I guess.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, you remember that time where
Inks.
they weren't
Can we just
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
it just doesn't make sense to me.
It makes perfect
because-
sense. It makes
Why?
perfect
Jesus
sense.
Christ! What the
Why?
fuck? This shit's getting heated.
Why does it make
Oh
perfect
my
sense?
god!
The
Because
whole
that's-
design of elite
because that
specs
is
and masteries.
to be
They want it to be
independent.
all-inclusive.
It's
They want there to
independent.
be no point. They don't want there to be any barriers to entry for a brand new player coming to the expansion. With the
There is
exception
already,
of Living
though.
Story, with the exception of Living Story, they're giving you everything when you buy an expansion.
There is currently a barrier to entry, and that you have to buy the expansion to get those things.
You have to buy the new expansion to get those things.
Yeah, and if it's already
That's the only
independent,
barrier.
and if it's already independent of the things you need to play the expansion, you don't need to buy the old expansion. There's no barrier there.
They're going to bundle everything into one expansion.
Apparently,
every single time.
apparently that's an actual thing that was said. And if that's the case, that's great for people who are getting to the game right off the bat.
I'm not saying it does not have positive aspects. And in terms of what I think I would actually like, I would like to see Ink's idea happen, even though it's not in accordance
gonna
with
happen.
reality. It won't happen.
It is going to happen.
Wrong.
There's a quote.
No.
There's a quote.
Yes.
It is going to
How
happen.
many things? You remember that time when precursor crafting and new legendaries were coming in 2013? Remember that? Yeah, that was
That
a
wasn't
quote
a-
too,
that-
and there's
that
still
wasn't
blog
actually-
posts about it.
That
you
wasn't
can go back
actually
and find.
that wasn't actually a promise. It was a roadmap of things to come.
Yeah, so it was basically a promise.
Yeah.
No, those are not the
Remember
same
that time
things.
that they said they were going to give us legendary armor too, and it's been a year. It's going to be a year and a half until it comes out.
Still get it.
I think, okay, so if there's a quote, I agree with Inks that it's more likely
the
to
thing
happen.
is, promises with ArenaNet are not promises in the same way that we deal with in other aspects of our life. They're just words that they eventually have to live up to, maybe, until they just change it and decide, this is what we actually meant. That's how ArenaNet operates. That's
I don't
how
know. I think if they said it, it's more likely to happen. The question is, the wording is very interesting in that, hold on, I'm going to go read it again. In the future, if we release further Guild Wars 2 expansions, we plan to offer all of the prior expansions, the core game, for one single purchase price. They don't say that
so
that's
it'll
the
be a
only
greater
offer.
purchase. Easy. A greater, it's going to be $75, $80 instead of $50.
Exactly.
And you can get it for a discount. See, we've won. We've got it. We figured it out. Inks was wrong.
I'm right
No, I'm
now
not wrong.
because
No.
of that quote,
We were
because of that
both
quote,
correct.
I'm
We were
50-50.
both right.
We're both right. Okay, we're both right, guys.
Right
It's
now,
bundled
because of
for
that
a
quote-
higher price, or you can buy one or the other.
I can
because you need to have both
I
of
can
them.
see that. I can see that actually that they could.
Yeah.
do
It turns out for once, ArenaNet was smarter than everyone on TeaTime combined.
But I do still think they will just bundle the other expansions. I think that's
Yes,
how
they
it's gonna
will.
go.
For a
Yes, they
higher
will.
price.
I'm
No.
I'm 50-50.
Yes.
$50.
Because of that quote, it does
Yes,
sound like
the
they
next
plan on-
expansion will be $20, but for all of them bundled, it will be $50. Easy.
That's
That's
another
how
thing.
you win. That's how you win.
That
That's
would
how
be
they
smart.
fix
That would be
everything.
smart, but the next expansion is not going to be $20.
No,
It will
okay,
be
hold on.
$20.
Guys, did you just say that would be smart? Because that's what I've been saying this entire time. I've been
That would
saying,
be smart on ArenaNet because it would make the veteran players happy. But
Yeah.
that is not what's going to happen.
Okay.
It is
That's
what's-
the whole point of the argument. The point
Right
of the
now, I
argument.
think it's
No, the whole
50-50
point
based
of
on
the whole point of any argument is that one side is wrong, and that's you. So
Yeah,
we've
you're
all-
wrong. Because they're gonna bundle in.
Ooh.
Because they're going to bundle in the expansion.
You're
with
correct on that
everything all
aspect.
together.
It's just going to cost
Right.
more.
Absolutely.
for
No,
the
it's
bundle.
not.
Yes, you just said right. You just agreed with me.
$50.
You were-
It's not going to cost more.
$50. It'll be $50 for everything, and it'll be $20 for the
Yes.
next expansion.
I think more likely like
No, it's not gonna be
35 or
20.
something, or 30
No.
bucks.
20. Because
After-
that's how you
After
say
outrage-
we're ArenaNet, we're doing it different. We're ArenaNet, we're different than every other an expansion. $20. If you want everything, you can get. If you want all the expansion of the core, $50. That's the cost of expansions and other. We're ArenaNet, we're different. Check us out, guys.
Except for the $20 price tag, I can't believe I agree with Brazil on this entirely. But yeah, no, I think that you're still having the bundled thing by having a $50 you get everything idea.
Or even better. They don't even call it. They call it the Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition comes with
No,
it comes
that's a
with
mistake.
comes with 4,000 gems. It comes with all the other content. Comes with a
No.
character slot. $50. $50.
They're not gonna
What
give
a-
4,000 gems
For
for
expansion.
Wait, but that's what they did with Heart of
expansion-
Thorns. Hmm?
$20.
What was $100 for Heart of
Yeah,
Thorns?
$100 for 4K gems.
What better way to get new players into the game than giving them gems? There's no better way. That's the
Yeah.
best way to get
no
new
barrier
players.
to entry there.
Gems, free gems.
And
It's
level
also
80
easy for them
boost.
to just give you gems because it's nothing.
They don't lose any money by. In fact, they probably gain loads of money by giving new players gems whenever they buy the
They get
game.
baited into
Because
buying
they're gonna
more.
see.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're gonna. We can convert this to gold. We can be rich. We can buy all this bad armor and then figure out that we need good armor at the end of the game. Buy more gems. We can get it turned into gold easy. Oh my gosh! What's this outfit? It has a particle effect and it glows. This is cooler than anything else I ever have. I'll never get skins this good. 800 gems outfit. Easy.
That's
If it
basically
wasn't-
true, though.
If it wasn't for that quote, the explanation I've been giving is like the only thing that makes sense to me because it's how the game's been designed after HOT or just before HOT. But with the quote, it makes me think 50-50, either one could happen.
No, they're after the outrage that was Heart of Thorns in its price point, if you want to appease the veteran players, I think it's smart to offer them a discount. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're going to because they didn't last time.
But it's not a
But
discount.
they will. It is a discount.
The way I'm saying it, it's not going to be a discount. It's
BRB.
the way I'm saying it's not a discount. It's now you get $50 for all the games. Agreed. the new
Which is the original
expansion
price
is
point.
the new expansion is actually $35, let's say.
They won't sell it that way.
And if you want to just buy Heart of Thorns, it's $20 or $25.
I don't know.
Well,
So the bundle
yeah.
is less expansion than buying things individually.
I definitely think I think it's a real option, but I still think that they will just lump it all together in a $40-50 price tag.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. Yeah.
I don't. What you're saying makes sense and is better for the consumer because it gives them more options and places to buy it. It's definitely better for veteran players who already own Heart of Thorns and whatever else.
It's better for veteran players and it's better for new players because that way you get the core game for free. You can just buy the new expansion where all the new stuff is happening for $35 or $30 or whatever it is, for cheaper than the $50 price tag. And then if you want to go back and do Heart of Thorns and get gliding, you pay an extra $20 or $15. Or if you want to save money, you get the bundle and get everything all at once.
I think the ArenaNet's going to try and sell it as just an all-in-one bundle. And there you go. Because that's what they did with Heart of Thorns, and I think they're going to do that with every future expansion.
You know what? I am an expert on the matter. I've figured out how to solve the problem.
Okay.
We know.
Do it. Oh? Are you gonna... Did you mute yourself by accident, Brazil?
No, I'm here.
Oh, wait, who are you...
No.
Wait, who are you adding? Well, why are you adding fucking Brobo? He's not even a mod.
Brobo is an expert. Brobo is going... He's not a mod?
He's not even a mod, no. He unmodded himself by accident, so I just modded a bunch of other people instead.
Yeah. Anyway, Inks, if it happens your way, I won't be upset. It's the way it could happen. It's the way the last one happened, so it's like whatever, who cares? But I just think it's smarter in every respect to do it the way I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that. And I'm not even saying that what I've been arguing this whole time is the way that I want it. I'm just saying that that is the way that ArenaNet wants to do it.
Wrong.
It's not wrong. Go read the fucking quote.
I did read the quote. You read it and Boots read it.
Yeah, they're going to bundle it together.
Yes, for a higher price point. We both agree.
Not.
Good.
Nope.
Excellent.
It's not going to be a higher price point.
It's not here.
It's going to be $50.
If you weren't sold before, listen to our two theories, right? We've got Boots and I saying that they're not going to bundle it because they have to make more money. You're saying they're going to bundle it so we save money. We have the theory in the middle, the hybrid theory. It is the hybrid theory. The hybrid theory. It's the best of both sides. It's the hybrid theory. See, it's correct. ArenaNet, they knew it all along.
You get ISO.
Nemesis was right, guys.
Nemesis was right. Nemesis doesn't even play the game anymore, and he was right.
He already predicted this. Well,
that was a good discussion. So should we take questions from the audience now?
Well, do we have anything else to discuss?
No, I got a headache too.
Yeah, that got fucking crazy. Holy shit. Wow. That is
apparently my mic doesn't like it when I yell.
Good.
That is just insanity. Oh, I ruined Skype as well. What have I done? Oh my god. Okay, I put it on. Oh my dog. Okay, I put it back. Yeah. You guys want us to talk about anything?
Video?
It's nearly done. Okay.
Hey, in other news, I saw the Yu-Gi-Oh movie and it was really good. I'd suggest if you have the opportunity to see it, you should go see it. It's a good movie.
Although, Inks, actually, just to get everything out on the table, I think the one point that you're very correct about is it does limit their design options if they have to also design for people who won't have gliding in the next expansion.
I think they're just going to bundle all that stuff together in every expansion. The maps that they design will have gliding aspects, or at least places that you can use it. Just like in Central Terria, you don't need gliding, right? The map wasn't really designed for that necessarily. The new maps are going to be designed for mounts. That's the theory, right?
Okay.
But gliding will still be usable in those maps. Like they're going to design it so that it is usable. Maybe just not.
So what you're saying right now is something that supports my point.
No.
It does.
But okay, so the thing is though, how will ArenaNet? Okay, so you can only gain Heart of Thorns mastery experience in Heart of Thorns, right?
Right.
That's how it works. So
Yep.
when the new expansion comes out, all the new players, they want to go, oh, but I want to do mounts, but I also want to do gliding. So they still have to do like a massive XP grind. So how are they going to add some kind of passive buff to speed it up or something?
Well, the grind isn't. They might Teapot, but the grind isn't nearly as bad as it used to be to get that experience.
It's pretty
for
slow
the
though.
original.
I've been doing it on some old accounts, and it's not fun.
Well, it's people still able to do that. I don't know. Anyway, it's
not that bad. It's not that bad. But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what's going to happen is just like Central Tier Masteries, they're going to be
exploits.
Yeah.
I guarantee that for the new whatever the Heart of Sand, there will be an exploit for grinding XP found on day one, like 100%.
Yeah. So hold on a second though. There is still a barrier for entry because you could only get gliding. Are we considering that you won't be able to get gliding in the new expansion? You'll have to go to the Heart of Thorn maps to get it?
Of course, it's a Heart of Thorns mastery.
Okay. So then in that case, yeah, I think they have to design each map with the ability to not fly in it. And in which case, they are very separate entities, the two expansions.
On some levels, sure.
So it just makes sense.
The point is not that they're not going to be separate entities. I think you're right in that aspect. The point is that ArenaNet wants to sell you or give you all of the content for one price every time they launch an expansion.
I think that's true. I think that's true.
New players can play Heart of Thorns, they can play Corteria, blah 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 blah.
I think that's true. I just think there's also going to be options to buy individual expansions for less money.
And for veteran players or for people who already own Heart of Thorns, that would be a great thing. Yeah. But I think they're going to sell the new expansion, $50, you get everything. Will there be other options? I don't know.
I think there has to be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be very interesting. I'm actually.
Are we doing questions yet?
Yeah, people are going to ask us things. Why is Yummy not on Tea Time? We should have added Yummy and Dib.
Yeah,
we could have just not talked and they could have just argued. I mean, honestly, that argument would probably never have ended unless people in the chat were just kind of horrified, disgusted at the argument, and after it continued to go on for an incredibly long time, they were kind of just flaming the debaters as a way. It actually, that drama was pretty good though. Do you guys see that drama?
I was in your chat that day.
Yeah. Oh, you were there, so you knew.
What happened? What happened?
So, Dib, do you know Jesper Locker? Dib?
Yeah.
Okay, so he made, his Reddit post he made about raid selling?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so he made a Reddit post where he calculated the value of a raid boss to be...
Oh, for 24 gold?
Yeah, 24 gold. What?
He made that post?
Yeah, that was him.
24 gold.
And obviously, Yummy, he was not too happy about this, and they had a little bit of an argument on stream.
It took 12 hours to finish.
Yes. See, and they were just flaming each other, just going crazy. Yummy revealed how he rigged the entire NA raid cell market by carrying people and then draining the LFG, so they're forced to buy raids or just not get kills.
Let's talk about something, all right? Let's talk about how capitalism is the greatest system ever invented, and Yummy is just demonstrating that yet again through another meeting.
Yeah,
look,
he's not wrong.
If you can find players
No, we gotta come on, all right.
For story
we talk about
steps,
how China's a communist country, right? Go look on eBay, go look up playmats, go look on Alibaba, go look up Yu-Gi-Oh cards. China, easy, cheap. They make them, they sell them, you get them, easy. China's capitalist.
Easy.
You go over to China, you see people sweeping the streets in the morning. Whenever you're going to work, they sweep all the dirt to one side of the street and all the trash. When you're coming back from work, they're sweeping it back to the other side. Capitalism. They're making money. China understands capitalism. See, that's why they have all of our Dobbs and why Donald Trump is going to try to capitalism. He's gonna try to out
So
cap.
confused right now.
What is this?
Yummy's doing it. He's just demonstrating again. Capitalism's the best
Capitalism.
system. Guild Wars 2 is the perfect medium for capitalism.
I think it's funny, awesome, and amazing that he is able to literally sell a carry through anything, living story steps, and basic achievements and whatever.
They are
hilarious.
They are literally selling bosses for triple what EU sells them for. Just let that sink in. If you are on NA, you are subject to the yummy tax, where you pay triple.
EU,
The yummy tax.
what's Europe known for? Socialism?
Yeah.
Socialism?
That's true.
Capitalism? NA?
Yeah.
See, there we go. See,
He
you
does
wanna
have
make
a
your
point.
money? NA service. See, everyone always talks about how bad NA is over from EU. Come on. Look at us. We're making the money. Yummy's making
Well,
the
what
money.
about the players who really need the bosses but don't have the money to pay for them?
Join a guild.
The only reason that NA is able to even sell at that price is because they're all hell trash, though. That's the thing. So, they actually are forced to buy raids, otherwise there would be no hope for them.
I think the mentality is different in NA versus EU when it comes to
Yeah, this is what Yummy said.
a lot of content.
Says they're all fucking lazy and they don't want to get good. They just want to get raid kills, and they'd rather just. Anyway, oh my god, Yummy is such a hilarious argument. He was saying that he was supporting the developers because everyone is forced to buy gems to pay.
He's making ArenaNet money. He's making ArenaNet money. Can you imagine? That's too funny.
I would honestly love to see numbers on that. You should talk to ArenaNet and actually see how many of the gems get converted into gold and then given to Yummy. That would actually be really fucking good. I'd love to see that. That'll be actually glorious. But yeah, he's supporting the game.
But hey, if you have a guild that is able to carry and sell raids or sell content, whatever, then just undercut them. There you go.
Exactly.
Easy money.
But you know what the thing is, though?
Out capitalism them.
Do you know what the trouble is, though? Is that all the guilds start colluding with each other and then they just fix the prices.
Just like gas stations, right?
Just like EU.
Yeah, see, Debbie Soros tried to do that back in the day. What happened to her? Gone.
There's
Only
an
one that
oligopoly.
Derpy Moa, and look what happened to him.
Is there an oligopoly on NA right now?
What does that mean? What's an oligopoly?
It's a monopoly of more than one party.
And that's
I don't think
It's super monopoly.
it's what people tried to set up on EU, but it didn't work. I believe within 12 hours, the guilds involved started stabbing each other in the back.
Yep.
And trolling each other. So it didn't they tried to fix the prices on EU, but even the prices they tried to fix were so much lower than the NA prices, right? That's the thing.
You heard it here. Ogolopolies don't work.
No.
Oligopoly.
There you go.
Doesn't fucking work.
Ugly monopolies don't work.
Well, they work in Canada for the telecom industry.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. Well, but isn't that because stuff like that have very high barrier to entry? Right? Not anyone can just set up shop and start competing in that industry, right?
Right.
Whereas in Raid Cell, it's fucking easy. Like it's not hard to 9-man the bosses, right? It's not difficult to actually do that. Whereas if you're trying to get into some kind, I don't know,
Well, maybe actually Teapot, maybe you just hit the nail on the head right there. The reason why it's so expensive in NA is because
they're too
it
bad.
is difficult.
Yeah, they're too
do
bad to do it, so they can't. Yeah, there are too many elitists in EU, but not enough on NA. So they actually can't set up guilds because they're all too noob.
I'm just gonna assume that since I've stopped raiding on Tuesdays and Mondays with Salt, that it's just gotten so much better to the point where there are no bad players in Salt anymore, and everything is just the easy 9-man.
Oh wait,
is that what's happened?
Well,
it's okay. I'll fix it.
Honestly,
Brazil.
the last few raids have been complete hell. That's because there's a lot of people who've basically been there just to get carried. But
okay. And you're willing to carry them and not charge them, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
How's that socialism working for your wallet, Teapot?
Well, seeing as how does this work out politically? Because I'm doing it on multiple accounts, so I still profit. And what does that even mean? In this analogy, what's that?
I think it means you're the best capitalist of them all.
Yeah,
You've even surpassed Yummy.
Yeah.
You're forcing the people that you're carrying to carry you.
Oh yeah, pretty good. But yeah,
It's a different tier.
yeah, I believe on multiple bosses we ended up actually 6-manning them. We did legit 6-man Zera. That was good. People were they just died, and we ended up. We actually hit Enrage. We actually hit Enrage on Zera, but we eventually got it done. I believe our Sabbather ended up as a duo, as everyone except 2 people were dead when Sabbather died. It was just a bit of a clown fiesta, But actually, it's not that bad. Salt is actually not that bad. Most people actually do try, and that is credit to them. Okay.
The best capitalist in Guild Wars 2 history is honestly
who is that?
Bootsy Wootsy.
Bootsy Wootsy, yeah.
The best.
I missed that guy. What
Wars
happened to fucking Bootsy Wootsy? Seriously, what happened to Bootsy Wootsy?
If you guys don't know about Bootsy Wootsy, no, we have to tell this story. If you guys don't know about the best capitalist in Guild Wars 2, Bootsy Wootsy was really bad at raids. He was really bad at playing. He had no legendary insights or experience.
So he just
He
lied.
he would start his own LFGs in the LFG for raids. He'd gear check and make everyone ping LIs, and he would make his own squad where he was commander, and he would get carried by design. The ultimate capitalist.
Pretty much.
Got his
150 insights, and he quit raiding.
Yep.
The ultimate Guild Wars 2 capitalist.
But he doesn't even stream it. And also he made fractal guides as well, right? Didn't he?
Yep.
He made guides to how to get ascended gear. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So do we have any questions, guys? Or do we, yeah, I mean, what the hell's even happened here, guys? This is just gone insane.
Derailed.
It's derailed.
Agalarkles.
Yeah.
Agamalopolis.
Yeah. Maybe we should just maybe
it's fun to say.
Maybe we should transfer all of Salt over to NA and just basically offer raid cells for free, because that's basically what Salt is. Salt is free raid cells. You can either you can either go to INS, or, well, I mean, obviously you would only go to INS, it's the only good raid cell guild. You could go there and purchase your raids immediately, or you could just wait in the queue in Salt and you'll get them for free,
That's exactly how socialism works. You just described the system perfectly. You get into a queue and you eventually get it for free.
There we go. Job done. We have established
capitalism. Just pay through the nose, get it as fast as you want.
Yeah. Nice. So basically, what you're telling me is that the S in Salt is for socialism.
On NA. It's so true.
Yeah. What do you guys think the next legendary weapon?
Mace.
Mace? Oh, we already have one. We can't do that.
We have Mace.
People from the host of Escalon really hope it's going to be a scepter.
Scepter or focus? What do you?
I see it could be a scepter. Scepter or focus? Focus probably more likely than scepter, unfortunately.
The minstrel, I really like the minstrel, because obviously it's minstrel good. Chrono. But I think you could consider it to be one of the silly ones because of the chicken. Yeah. I think you could argue that, so I think it'd be focus probably.
Yeah, it's most likely gonna be focus, but I'd rather it be scepter.
Oh, I like the scepter though.
It's a good scepter.
It looks really cool.
I think that they could do good things with scepters. So
I say longbow.
I don't know. I don't really care about legendaries because I win with Thief no matter what.
A longbow
rifle, I win.
All I do is thief.
Some kind of maybe Dragon Hunter themed longbow for Braham or something. Yeah.
Well, he has Air's Legacy. He has the gem.
Oh yeah, he's got Air's longbow. Yeah, he doesn't need it. He's got Air's bow.
Yeah, he has his gem store weapon.
Focus
has all the particle effects, anyways.
Actually, the good thing about focus is that you could literally do anything with it.
Yeah, it could just be an object. It doesn't even have to really make sense. It doesn't even have to make sense. Yeah. It can just be
I've got it. What if that Shadow Stone is the precursor for the focus?
Oh shit!
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Aren't you going to end up with something that looks a bit like the anomaly though? If you go down that Shadow Stone route.
Maybe it just like turns your hand invisible.
Yeah, it could turn your hand like black, and it could phase in and out.
That's the whole skin. It just removes your hand. There we go. Yeah. Job done.
Just delete your character.
Finally, a good legendary sword would be cool, but you already have Bolt, okay? You don't need a good
If it
legendary.
deletes your character, Inks, how many of those precursors do you have?
How many characters do you have left, Inks?
I still have 9.
Will you delete? How many are you gonna
Well,
delete?
I have more than 9 right now because I have key farmers lined up ready to go. But
How many character slots do you have?
14.
Oh, I thought you had a lot more. Okay, that's not so bad.
I had 14 before I started deleting characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
are
you gonna start a fresh account from for the next expansion? Just delete everything. Just start over.
Thought about it.
You actually thought about it?
And see if there's any barriers to entry?
I've spent too much money on the game though, so shut up, Boots.
Hey, wait,
How
if
do you feel about getting Hungry Hal on 3 accounts, Inks?
Oh,
I only did it once and it wasn't that
You
bad.
know someone who has Hungry Hal on 3 accounts, no?
Yeah. We
who is it? Who is it?
A friend of mine.
No. If you delete all your characters, does it delete your bank as well?
Oh,
no.
It might.
I would be too scared to try that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know.
Who knows? Somebody in chat has to know. If you delete all your characters, does it delete your bank? No.
No.
Mike says it doesn't.
Well, I mean, people have done it because they've done it for the free server transfer.
Yeah, the free. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Bank does not get deleted.
The bank doesn't get deleted. That's interesting. That wouldn't really be so bad then. The only thing is I probably would never delete my Ranger because he was the original character that I created, so he technically gets a birthday. Not that I need the dies, but, you know, it's nice to get a birthday every year.
Oh, what are we going to get for the next birthday?
Probably a level 50 scroll.
Yep.
Level 50 scroll, a die pack, and what did we get this past year? Finisher?
Backpack.
Something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got a main,
another
yeah,
backpack.
backpack. Yeah.
You got a
Get another
trash
backpack
backpack
choice.
skin.
You won't get
What did they give us?
you won't get the same
Mail
backpack
carry
skin.
No, it'll be the same backpack skin again next
Yeah,
year.
I think so as well.
What?
It'll let you choose a
What?
different. It'll let you choose a different race this time
Yep.
because that
think-
was only once per year. It wasn't per birthday.
Did it really? It's been 4 years and you haven't discovered that the birthday gifts don't matter.
What if
The birthdays are worthless trash.
Brazil, you're right, and we don't get legendary armor with the next with Living Story episode 5, and instead you have to get an item from
Your birthday?
your 5th birthday.
Ah, nice.
Wow. Well, in 5 years, I can have
Just-
my legendary armor.
Just imagine that they actually put they actually put all of legendary armor in the birthday present.
Well, I
You just
mean
get
that's
all of
fair because that's how long it's taken them to design it, right?
it. Wow.
How long it's been 5 years and we don't have
So
legendary
bad.
armor yet, so it's fair.
Do you think they always intended to give legendary armor or make legendary
Yeah.
armor for the game?
Yeah,
I
they've
think
thought
so.
about it for ages. You can see it in really old forum posts. Well, not forum posts, like blog posts.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, they
it's been there for.
discussed other options, yeah.
So yeah.
I just wish those dice you got for your birthday were tradable.
I just want to see what the legendary armor looks like on Char. It's gonna look retarded, I think.
Retarded.
Retarded. I don't know. I think they all might look a bit weird on Char because everything looks kind of weird on Char. I mean, no, you can't make the dice tradable though, because then you just give away free money basically.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And
They don't
people
wanna do
who were
that.
there for 2 years are going to be very unhappy about
Yeah.
people there for 5 years having a distinct advantage.
I think,
Boo-hoo.
yeah. Wow. Inks is an elitist. He's an age elitist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an ageist.
Yeah. Disgusting behavior. It would be kind of good though, because then I could just trade all the dies from my alt accounts back to my main. That would be kind of good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Char down this game. I mean, yeah, they might as well only. Do you think would anyone notice if they just made the legendary armor for human females? It would be a while before people notice anyway, right? Because everyone just runs human female.
Not if you're in Salt. There's a lot of Char players.
There
It
are,
feels
actually.
like.
I mean, that's okay. They can be wrong if they want to.
There's a lot of Azura players as well, actually. People like those rats, those little rats.
Mm-hmm.
Zeros are good.
Yeah.
What is there not a lot of? Norn?
Oh, That's
Yeah.
Woo. Okay, that's a spicy link I just got sent. Okay, well, that's a
What did you
very
click on?
spicy meme. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, saving that real quick. That's actually pretty
What?
dank.
What is it? I want to know.
Nothing. Literally nothing happened.
All right.
Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
Char DPS loss.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you know, yeah, they are a DPS loss. Did you not see that post at the wait, what was the best class? What was the best race even? Oh, best
Is it
race,
human
okay.
female?
No, because like the some guy was measuring the aftercast or something, and it was longer
Yeah.
or something.
It was
Yeah,
human.
yeah.
It was human female, wasn't it?
Was it human
Something like
female?
that?
Was the better? Was the best? Was it?
I might be
Azura?
making that up.
I don't even know. Cause like there was a post. There was a post. Azura was the
Azura
best.
was the best.
It was the best.
Was it Asura?
Yeah, so Azura had the shortest animations by like a tiny percentage, like a few frames. Therefore, it was the best DPS. But actually, it was
Nice.
pure bullshit, and it was actually just a guy saying that because he wanted to.
It's good to know
Alright,
that my
so-
friend Bootspur started watching now at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, I got out of there. In fact.
Yeah. Only now you watch to support.
Yeah.
How can you even ban people? You could ban Brobo right now.
Oh sweet. Okay, hold on.
You could just ban him right now.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Bro. No, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, he isn't
That's
even.
fine.
He isn't even a mod. He isn't even a mod anymore. I mean, come on.
Not
Yeah,
even
what
a
happened?
mod.
Yeah.
Is it because he went to QT and QT can't be mod?
He unmodded himself. He just didn't want to be mod anymore.
He couldn't handle the responsibility.
Yeah, he
It's too
actually
much.
couldn't handle it.
Hmm.
I mean, is
Oh,
that
someone did ban him.
Oh. Yeah, it was Nico. But yeah, if are there any more questions, guys, or shall we? Should we just wrap it up? We've kind of exhausted everything here. We got a lot of good stuff.
You exhausted me too.
Yeah, that insane argument, guys. It was whoa, it was spicy, guys. It was pretty fucking spicy. But yeah, I think that's gonna be about it then, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Should we sell out a little bit? Shilling, a little bit of selling.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Brazil. As you saw our argument earlier, I was right. So because of that, follow me on Twitter and unfollow Inks.
Okay. There we go. There's links to everyone here. We got links to Inks. We got links to Boots. We got links to Inks.
Links to inks.
And links to the Brazil. So yeah, you go click on those, subscribe, do all that stuff. You know.
And for what it's worth, I hope that they do actually do Inks' strategy. I think that Inks' argument is honestly the correct thing. I'm not convinced it's going to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm more convinced that it's
I-
going to happen that way because they wrote it that way, but I just
No, I think the hybrid theory is the most likely to
Ooh,
happen.
the hybrid theory.
the hybrid theory is the best idea, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's the best idea, but
Anyways, let's keep introducing.
Do it.
Let's do it. Let's get this
And-
over
okay.
with.
I'm
Yeah.
Boots from World of Ender. You
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel that I sometimes do stuff for, and most of the time I'm here though, getting yelled at.
Yeah. Getting flamed by Brazil. Yep.
Being framed by everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
poor Boots.
Yeah.
Poor
Poor
Boots.
Boots. Feels bad, man.
My name is MMO
MMO
Inks.
Inks. Moinks.
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Twitch eventually, hopefully next month.
Yeah.
Supposed to get my internet sorted tomorrow. That guy, I'll hold him hostage until my internet's working tomorrow. He's not allowed to leave.
Ooh.
So that's a positive.
Are you gonna turn your room into a dungeon?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Turn the whole setup into a dungeon. Just keep them there. Tie them up.
Anyway, the internet's supposed to get fixed tomorrow, hopefully. And that's a positive. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, we're all looking forward to that. Ink's back on Twitch. You guys know what that means. Song requests, okay? You guys know what that means.
That means no
okay?
gachi,
Yeah.
no slapping.
No slapping. Well, I mean, look at chat. I'm seeing a few gachi gasms there. I think I think you know what you're gonna get, and you won't even suspect it though, because it will sound like the wrong version, but actually it'll be the right version.
I've been tricked a few times.
Yeah. All right, then you got me as well. So this stream was pretty good. This was a pretty intense tea time. We've had some pretty crazy tea times recently. So if you guys have enjoyed this, follow. Follow. Yeah. Oh shit, we're just cutting each other off now. Biz. You go ahead.
Oh my god.
Go.
I was just gonna say it was intense over a conversation that didn't really mean much.
Yeah.
But
that's the best type, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, I agree.
It was getting crazy in here. Then if you really like me, you can press that subscribe button. Okay, it's gonna improve your life. You're gonna have Twitch emotes, and these are global emotes, guys. They're not just for this channel; they're for any channel. You want to intimidate people? You can put Teapot Memesis in the chat. I mean, come on. When you put a Teapot Memesis on each side of your chat message, it just makes it a lot better. I think we can all agree there. And as a result of that, just subscribe. Just do it. Supports the stream, although you probably don't give a fuck about that because. Free entertainment, lol. You know what I'm saying, guys? And that's gonna be all for us. Yeah, follow me on Twitter as well. Go. Subscribe and save your life by not buying McDonald's. Exactly. If you put money into the subscription, maybe you can't afford you can't afford food and you starve to death. There you go. It really is as simple as that. And yeah, let's host someone, shall we? Who should we host?
Good question.
Are they still streaming PvP?
Do you guys want to watch the PvP tournament? Is that what you guys want to watch?
Yeah, probably just host that, honestly.
I don't know who else is streaming, really.
Django Zep.
I mean, even if we host, it's still not going to be as many viewers as the elitist raiding party, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Host a tournament? No. PvP is cancer? No. Not Helseth? Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna fucking troll you guys. Oh, thanks for the bits, by the way, Base. We'll host the German stream. How about that?
I love you guys.
Yeah.
Voss.
Yeah. Okay.